Alright, so time now is 9 a.m. on April 18th. 19th. So, yeah, I slept from 3 a.m. to 8:40? No, 3 a.m.-ish to 8:40. And, yeah, that's that. I wish I could have slept more, but I didn't. Once again, I ran out of time last night. I wasn't able to watch. I wasn't able to finish watching the entire movie. That is Eat, Drink, Man, Woman. It's a good movie. But, after 40 something minutes, I have to go to bed. I'm too sleepy. Yeah, I'm gonna resume it this morning. So, today's gonna be a very exciting day. It's a Wednesday, and I have Photo 1 class, which is goofy. I don't really care about it anymore. But what comes next is insane. I'm going to go back home here after my Photo 1 class, and I'm going to have a very quick lunch. I may film a movie roundup video after that, and then I would immediately leave again to CMD. Now that is where the fun parts begin, because today I will be spying. I will be scouting and spying for PAs from the Wednesday Film 32, which is going to be absolutely insane and mind-boggling. Um, I'll be seeing Ken the Taiwanese Dude, and most importantly, I'll be seeing Leslie in person for the first time since a while ago. I really want to see her. And, yeah, it's such a shame I never got to really, meet her in spring break. But yeah, I'm gonna show up in a very surprising way. I'm gonna dress up in all black, I'm gonna wear sunglasses, it's gonna be absolutely amazing. And hopefully Kuchio lets me in, because if Kuchio doesn't, I'm gonna look like a total freaking idiot. But that's basically that today. Nothing else. We have 1 week left for the paperwork's deadline, so that's insane. I think the idea that we only have 1 week left hasn't synced in for most of the people yet, including me. Because this is a pretty huge project, and 7 days is not a lot of days. Yeah, I also still cannot for the life of me figure out what's going on with the storage space on my phone. It's just not, it's just fucking not enough. Yeah, I don't know. I just, if I have time, I would like to bleach my shower place, which is something I've been planning to do for like a whole month now. I want to wipe the floor, swab the floor as well, because right now, my bedroom floor is probably just as dirty as the outside. Yeah, I'm gonna make myself a French toast with some stale wheat bread. So that's that. Ladies and gentlemen, let the spying commence.
In the proper, non-lazy way of doing this,
Okay.
Les, are we gonna like
Everything that we see.
You know what? I think it'll read more clearly.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Now I'm gonna.
Zoe, how was that for you for focus?
It's just really dark.
Okie dokie. Time now is 7:56 p.m. and we are in for another amazing long ass ride. So, oh my god, that's a cockroach. Holy shit. Is it the same one? It's the fucking same one, is it? Okay. You know what? I'm gonna handle this cockroach right now and then I'll talk. I am going to move this table away, and then I'm going to fucking smash it with something. I don't know. Alright, I killed the cockroach. It's not scary to me anymore because I see them so often. This was the second cockroach I've killed this week. I fucking intimidated it with the toothpaste box. It got down onto the ground, and then I started spraying it with my alcohol, and then I grabbed my water bottle. I had to immediately grab something heavy. I got a piece of toilet paper and I started smashing it. And I think I smashed the cockroach 6 times. Pung, pung, pung. And then I checked if it's dead or not. It's not moving, but I want to make sure it's dead. Pung, pung, pung. And now it's dead. I immediately picked it up, threw it in the toilet, flushed it away. End of story. Yeah, and it's good that a cockroach died in my room because this is the smell of a dead cockroach, and that sort of scares other cockroaches away. So that's a good thing. So yeah, that's that. Okay, anyways, today we're in for a ride. So the first half of the day is photo 1, and the second half of the day is my visit to Film 32, which is absolutely fucking insane. To think I have come this far in life is just insane. So I went to photo 1, and I was late by like 10 minutes. Who cares? In the morning, I randomly had a stomachache. I wanted to finish Eat, Drink, Man, Woman in the morning, the movie. I couldn't finish it. I randomly had a stomachache. I had to go to the bathroom. But yeah, I arrived in the class about 10 minutes late, and we didn't do anything all that crazy. We took some cool slow shutter speed moments. Aiden, the hidden honker, didn't show up. And then he did, randomly. He tapped me on the shoulder and he asked me what's going on. And I taught him, basically, gave him a little recap of what sort of photos we're taking. So that's pretty cool. The Korean girl from 2 days ago didn't show up, but the other 2 Korean girls, the popular ones, did show up. And the Korean guy finally showed up again after so many months of not seeing him. So that's that. Yeah, not much else. And then the Aiden drove me back home. And we talked a little more. Apparently, he has been to a night owl party. So last week, when I spoke to Aiden about the night owl party, he was like shocked, like, "Oh, that's interesting. I've never heard of it." Turns out he has been to a night owl party once. And that's very, very early on like right after he came to the USA. So right after last year's summer, he came to LA, and his friend basically took him to this night owl party, and he actually met the guy, the founder, the owner of this night owl thing, and it's a Japanese guy by the name of Ryoto or Ryoto. But yeah, fuck. So this is real. I know who's the head now. I know who's the boss of this underground society now. Very interesting shit. And then he said, "Yeah, like, do you want to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, maybe. I want to experience it." And I'm like, I told him, I basically implied, like, if I go, I don't want to go alone because that's fucking stupid. And he's like, "Yeah." So that's that. Apparently, he didn't show up. During spring break, he didn't do anything. He stayed on bed because he had some sort of throat inflammation issue. And he doesn't want to see a doctor, so he went to buy medicine himself. So that's that. Now, came back home at around 12:50. Immediately had lunch. Some quick Nija Market sandwiches. Char siu bao. Some potato chips. And then boom, I'm ready to go out again. So, yeah, I dressed in all black, wearing my beautiful Nike sneakers, my beautiful black Nike sneakers. I dressed up, I listened to some hype ass music. I dressed up, and I'm ready to infiltrate the Wednesday Film 32, which is absolutely insane. So many years ago, like 5 years ago, I can't even get along with the big powerful people, and now I am bigger and more powerful than I have ever imagined. I am freaking visiting other people's classes like this aloof god. I feel like a veteran, So I was scared that Crucio would just deny me, would just say, you know what, what are you even doing here, bro? And just say, go home. That did not happen. So much more happened, and I'm incredibly satisfied with today. You know what? If I could make a list of like happy days, today should be on the list. Today should be on the list because I really did have good fun indeed today. But yeah, essentially there's that. Um, yeah, so I oh, here we go. So I arrived at CMD and I was thinking that people are going to be in the cafeteria, in the canteen. You know, maybe Betsy's sitting there with a laptop being all sneaky. But it's black, it's dark, it's completely empty. So I directly made it through into the soundstage. I ran into Drew and I said hi. And I was like, oh, I'm here to scout for PAs. I said that so many times today. And he's like, oh, yeah, they're filming inside right now. And I'm like, yeah, are they in a take or something? And they're like, no, they should be setting things up. So I sneaked in. So right off the bat, I don't want to just walk in. And I realized I'm a lot more awkward than I've expected. Like, I wanted to dress in all black and I'm going to look so cool. I'm going to look like an FBI agent. But I ended up being this goofy little guy. And I was a little awkward. I saw Aaliyah, the girl who, the African girl who temporarily played our main actress, our main character in our campaign Indiegogo shoot. I saw her and she doesn't recognize me. She doesn't remember me. I walked past the crafty table and I said, hey, is this the Film 32 crafty table? And she's like, yeah. And she got a little like spooked out, like, who is this madman? At the end of the class, she told me she thought I'm just some random stranger and she wanted to stop me from like stealing food from the crafty, but I never did. I never steal another set's crafty, okay? If I didn't work on this set, I don't deserve the crafty. That's my rule, okay? So I never do that. That's a good ass rule, you know. But a little bit later, I sneaked into the classroom. And right off the bat, boom, Ken is there. Ken immediately saw me and was like, hey, what's up? Hi. And Ken is Grip. And then I saw Crucio. And apparently half the class is gone because this is their second lunch break. So they separated 2 lunch breaks. They had 2 lunch breaks, the first lunch break and the second lunch break. And, you know, different people can go to have lunch at different times. And I looked at the shot list and it's so complicated. There's like 6 shots. I mean, 6 shots aren't that complicated, but with what they're doing, with the dolly shots and the Dutch angle and everything, like, bruh. And then on the contrary, the production design is so simple. It's just like a few flats and a security camera, a table and a chair, and that's it. It's so simple. And then the camera is so complicated as well. So I looked at the roll call list, and there are so many names on there. This is a humongous class. And I started walking around and saying hi to people. So right off the bat, someone tapped me on the shoulder or like walked past me. And it's Leslie with her new blue magenta hair. Not really blue magenta. I dare to say that's violet and magenta. The blue is barely there. Fuck, Pepper just went into the new Discord. HKSA 2.0. Okay. Well, life is full of surprises. Like, I just love it when I film these videos and then I also see, like, notifications of people texting me, whatever's happening, and it's like the drama continues. But yeah, essentially there's that. Yeah, anyways. I saw Leslie and she's like, what are you doing here? And then she just walked away. It turns out today she's the freaking DP. Which is amazing, fucking powerful, right? And she doesn't act like DP today at all. In fact, today she's basically doing the entire lighting team and Grip. She's also moving all the C-stands, she's moving the light stands, she's putting up the silks and the flags, and she's messing with the cameras as well. Like, usually DPs lay back a little bit. And that's not what she's supposed to do, because a lot of G&E people don't really know what they're doing. And Leslie, it's all in her head. Like, the entire plane, which is both impressive, both cute, and also not very great, you know, like kind of a controlling person. But that just gives her such a strong sense of personality. And I just kind of like that, you know. But yeah, she's basically doing so much work. And I'm too tired at that point to just think, oh my god, like she's amazing. She doesn't look great. She's wearing this goofy black silk shirt that looks like a pajama, and her hair is like a mess. It's tied up in a, you know, not like a dumb way. At first, when I saw her, I felt lukewarm, but just seeing her do all these amazing C-stance lighting shit, as much as I'm acting like an aloof god right now, seeing her do that just made me go like, damn, that's impressive. That's really impressive. So there's that. I walked around. I continued to walk around and started speaking to people individually. Oh yeah, I saw Cruccio and I spoke to Professor Cruccio, and I was a little scared that he's gonna shoo me away. And then he said, "Oh well," and he did this. He did. He was like, now is not a very good time. Maybe come back at around 4 p.m. Because a lot of the people are on break, and I guess Cruccio wants me to just like make an announcement. But I'm not there to just make an announcement. I want to watch them work. So I told Cruccio like I want to watch them work too, and he's like, sure, go ahead. So that's what I did. From like 1:40 p.m. to the wrap, which is around 5 p.m. I was just there the whole time, standing around, sitting around, talking to people. And then I spoke to everyone. I spoke to a black guy who is in the same class as I was in Film 31. And I'm like, you're Tracy, right? And he's like, yeah. You know me? And, you know, I explained to him, see, I remember fucking everyone. Aaliyah, the black girl, didn't remember me. I remember her. I remember everyone. So that's that. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, I really spoke to everyone. And I think I spoke to a producer. I spoke to another grip. I helped out with other stuff. Like I helped wrangling some cables. I helped, you know, messing with the jacks and all that. I helped move the flat. And I was like a little angel, like a little guardian angel, just jumping around helping people with small businesses. And I was kind of afraid too, because frankly, when I was in 32 and I saw the people in 33, I was like, oh, they're professionals. But then now I realize 33 aren't professionals. We're not even a little better than 32. We're literally the same. And frankly, a lot of the people in this class probably know how to build sets, how to move C-stands better than I do. So I'm like an idiot. And they get to use Zeiss CP3 lens. We got to use Canon zoom lens. They got the great lens. Why do they have access to such beautiful lens? They got a 50mm and 100mm Zeiss CP3 lens. Like, bruh. And then, like, again, they got to use a dolly for their first scene, and they got all this and all that, and it's just like, they're privileged, you know? So I started to feel like an idiot, and I started to feel awkward. But it was nice. I still stand around, and it's still nice to just socialize with people individually. I feel like if I am told to just make a large announcement and tell everyone about this, it's goofy. But if I talk to people individually, and then they start talking to each other about me, that's the way it works. That's how I work. I don't do it the obvious way. I'm a sneaky person. I'm the detective. I sneak around. That is my plan. And it's quite great, actually. I just fit in. So there's this girl that Professor Cruccio really, really likes. This white girl by the name of Ariel. And I told her I'm from Film 33, and she's like, oh, okay. And, you know, I said, oh, yeah, you know, the professor told me how you're interested in PAing and everything. And she's like, yeah, I'm really interested. And she's really passionate. And Sitlali, a couple days ago, made an announcement saying that she needs people for the art department. And she's the PD today. So, you know, right on. Right on. Art PA, let's do it. So I told her that, we exchanged phone numbers, yada yada. Next thing you know, I spoke with Ken a lot, joked around with him a lot. Leslie's just busy zooming around. Sometimes I secretly take photos and she would see me. So yeah, there's that. But aside from that, I think the class looks pretty nice. Everyone seems to be getting along well. A few people didn't show up and or like went to lunch and never came back, which is funny. But aside from that, everyone worked well together. The thing is, the first AD is kind of quiet and shy, and he's not doing anything other than saying, "Oh, all quiet, pictures up, camera, sound," you know. So yeah, nobody's really pushing the whole production forward. Like, there's no UPM. The first AD isn't really doing much of a first ADing job, even though he's a nice guy. He's a Korean, I'm guessing. I don't even know. So there's that. But it went smoothly at the end, and they wrapped at 5. A little overtime, but it's okay. So yeah, there's that. Now, at some point, I went out of the soundstage and I ran into Carly, who is wearing a short-sleeved shirt and some short gym pants. She is ready to rock in the summer, and she's with her laptop typing on the bench outside of the soundstage. I'm like, "Oh, Carly, what are you doing here?" And she says she came here right after gym, and she wants to see Professor Cuchillo to speak to him about some stuff. And then so I told her how I'm spying on Film 32. And she's like, "Oh, I'm curious. I want to go in." So I and Carly. So now I got some credentials. I got the friggin' director right beside me, right? So we went in and we started like snooping around and stuff. And Carly was like, "Yeah, they're good." Like, and I told her, "Yeah, like when I first came in here, I thought I'm like a veteran, but they're good." And she's like, "Yeah." So there's that. But yeah, it's good that I'm scouting for PAs in front of Cuchillo, because when Cuchillo sees that I'm credited as location manager, he would be like, this guy deserves a better title. This guy deserves a better freaking title. So we'll see. Maybe Cuchillo will give me the UPM title on second thought. Or maybe he'll give me another like production whatever, like a production general. That sounds so cool. Give me a title like that, yeah. There's unit production manager. There are other types of production manager too. There's the hidden ones, But yeah, essentially there's that. Number one's that. Number two, not number one, number two, I don't know, I'm so tired. Yeah, Leslie came to me at a few moments, and I and Carly would be talking about Film 33. And to them, it's like this crazy ambitious like thing, like Film 33 is the adults thing, it's the big people thing. And then I and Carly just talk about how, oh yeah, Sidlali told me art department needs more roles, and oh yeah, we're gonna shoot scene 2 tomorrow, blah 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 blah. And I just talk about it like it's an average Tuesday. And I don't know, I just feel so freaking cool. I feel so valid. Being in 33 and talking to 32 people, I just feel like, oh, I'm such a veteran, So that's really cool. But yeah, essentially there's that. Let me think of any other cool things. So Ken left very fast. I guess it's time for me to talk a little bit about okay, everyone left. I stayed with Film 32. There's a big group of about maybe 9-10 people in their Film 32, and I just stuck there. I was just standing there and I didn't say anything, and I wanted to leave because at that point everyone's gone. It's a wrap. And Leslie's in Drew's storage room, and I wanted to go there, but I don't have the courage to just walk in and start talking shit, So I really don't know where to go, but I want to go. I don't want to be stuck. So I at some point I said, bye, I'm going to leave now. And then I came back again. And then I left again, and I came back again. And it was kind of awkward. Oh yeah, at some point, apparently the rear lens cap for a Zeiss CP3 100mm was missing. So I helped out. Like, I got a roll call list, and I started asking people, oh, where's the first AC? Blah 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 blah. Where the fuck is in your? It turns out it's in the first AC's pocket. You mess with the Zeiss, you're messing with the good lens. And then in the soundstage, at that point, it's nobody but Carly and Cuchillo, and I walked in on Cuchillo, kneeling on the ground on his knees, and it was such a funny moment, and that's because Cuchillo is pretending to be the main character for our short film. For scene 2, or actually the opening scene where she kneels and prays to Virgin Mary. So there's that. Yeah, essentially, there's that. I have so many thoughts right now. I swear to God. Really funny, and Cuchillo seems so nice. Like, Cuchillo randomly asked a guy, there's a black guy with a funny t-shirt, and he's like, who's that on your t-shirt? Like, Cuchillo just seems nice, and there's something like eerie about him, But yeah, at some point I was outside the soundstage. I really want to just go into the storage room to speak with Leslie, but I just can't. I really want to see her and speak to her, but I just can't. I can't just walk in. And then our Lord and Savior showed up. Guess who? Cliff the Malaysian. I saw him, and he's like, oh, Enoch. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, my Film 20 class, script writing, is going to happen soon. And he wants Drew to print something for him. So, that's that. So he went in the storage room, and I stuck with him, and I went in. And I also have stuff to talk to Drew about, like, after class, after the drill tomorrow, I want to speak to Drew about, Film LA and all that crazy procedure. I also talked to Drew about insurance, not insurance. My mind is breaking apart. About internships. I want internships. I want paid internships. Because I've been trying to look for a job. And today is also one of those days when I truly talk to Drew. Like, I talked about how I find it difficult to find a job and everything. And he asked me, oh, have you spoke to campus people? And I'm like, yeah, I spoke to the library twice. I emailed the bookstore. I emailed the Corsair Cafe. I emailed the media department. I saw the media department head herself and asked her in person. And she said she's not hiring international students, unfortunately. Like, I asked the career center, the IEC, and they told me to email a math professor so that I can be a math tutor. And the math professor responded saying that they don't hire. I tried everything. And he's like, oh, you got to ask Cuchillo or Professor Antonio, but I'll keep an eye on things. So that's great. And then I stayed around a little bit. Leslie, she is a real character. Okay, she's a real character. And she's awful on keeping secrets because she just spilled her personal shit out in front of Drew. And Drew's reaction is just, okay, and that's it. So Leslie told Drew that her Italian friend, the 40-year-old Italian woman, Chiara, told Leslie last night that she can't be friends with Leslie anymore. Maybe Leslie did something crazy. Maybe Leslie's just too crazy for Chiara's taste. And then Leslie said, oh, but it's okay. All problems can be solved with alcohol. And she said it both in a joking way, but both serious way. And the fact that she's only 18, and yeah, she's 18, she's of age now, but still, she's like a child, she's a baby. And also in America, 21 is drinking age, so damn. And she started talking about how, oh, maybe vodka, maybe tequila. Oh, bourbon, I've never tried bourbon before. And Drew was just sitting there like, okay. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, damn, I don't even drink. I don't think I've had a taste of vodka before, but like tequila, bourbon, all that stuff. And I know it's like self-destructive and maladaptive, but like, if anything, I want Leslie to teach me to drink. That's that. Yeah, but that's also probably why Chiara decided to stop being friends with Leslie, because Leslie's just too insane and psychotic of a woman, of a girl. To me, she's a girl. Yeah, so that's that. And then one very interesting moment. So at that point, Cliff is out of the storage room. I'm still standing in the storage room with my all black gothy costume, right? Professor Crucio jump scared us. He showed up out of nowhere behind me, and he asked a simple question about dollying and for tomorrow's drill, for my Film 32 drill, about a boom op, being attached to a genie or whatever. So essentially, Theo's gonna go through some pain tomorrow because Theo's the boom op. So bye bye Italian man. Yeah. But yeah, and then I asked Leslie, so what are you doing later? And it's so awkward because Drew's right in front of us, but I want to smooth talk Leslie, so what are you doing later? If possible, I want to walk to the bus stop with her and chat with her and all that jazz. And she said, oh, a friend is going to eat ramen with me. Apparently, she only slept for 6 hours today, which is still more than me. I slept for 5.5. And she hadn't eaten anything. She's only drank coffee. She hadn't even drank water today. Truly self-destructive. And she's eating a piece of Reese's peanut butter cup. And she said there's another piece there. And she asked me if I want it. And I said, no, you have it. You deserve it, okay? That's for you. Get some energy. Take care. Get some rest. And then, I mentioned that I'm still asking for people to be actors for Leslie's short film, for Leslie's scene. And yeah, and then she told me, oh yeah, on Friday. So apparently for her scene, the first AD has already asked people to, act for Leslie. Okay, got ahead of me. To be fair, I'm not in that class, so why am I even helping her? But on Friday noon at 12, Leslie will, and the first AD will do a casting audition thing at the conference room upstairs at CMD. And Leslie's like, oh, I forgot to text you about this, but, can you join? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll be going here again on Friday anyways. So that's that. And then she gave me a fist bump, which is nice. I like that she's thinking about me. I like that I'm in the equation. But she also forgot to text me. Why? Is she too nervous to text me? I hope that's the case. Is she too, I don't know, what's going on? I don't really know. But I just want to help her, Yeah, even though I had fun spying on Film 32, most of the time I'm starting to be really stressed because we have 7 days left for the paperwork's deadline, and we still got the locations, and it's still a mess. And yeah, essentially there's that. So I don't know. I'm trying my real best, and I realize I could try harder. I don't know how to work Film LA. Why don't I just go to YouTube and just look at tutorials on how to work with Film LA? Why don't I just go to fucking Google and just Google search how to be a good location manager? I could have done that. Simple steps. Do you know how I learned so much about camera lenses and all that stuff? Through YouTube. I should have done the same. So yeah, I'm really busting my ass off right now. But yeah, I left because Leslie has more work tonight. Unfortunately, I can't leave with Leslie. There's a tinge of sadness in the way that today ended, but I'm still very satisfied. I told Leslie, get some rest, drink some water, okay? And Leslie's like, wow, thank you. You're so nice. And almost in a joking way, but also half serious. And then I left. And this also, Drew probably never see a deeper side of me, me struggling and then me being sympathetic. This is how you build character, But yeah, I just don't know. Do I look stupid? Do I look like an idiot? How well do I fare in front of Leslie? I just really, I don't know. I gotta speak to her or something. I want us to just sit down and have a chat at some point, because I realized we've never actually done that. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, and then I walked back home, came back, now I'm here. I texted Sidlali about location scouting and also the RPA. And she said, great for the RPA. And Ava told me St. Brendan Church said yes and Holy Cross Church said no. And Lolly told me that's completely false. The churches didn't say that. Don't listen to Ava, okay? Both churches also said speak to the archdiocese. So that's that. And I just realized I have to speak to archdiocese. That or Benny. I think Benny's working on it. So there's that. All right. I got teriyaki chicken, some tortellini, molten cheese, well, not molten anymore, and some cabbage, carrot, mushroom, garlic fried. Let's try the teriyaki chicken. Alright, it's 10:36. I just finished dinner, which is quite flavorful and eventful actually. But anyways, couple of things I forgot to mention, I guess. Yesterday, after photo 2, we were waiting for the bus, and Potter and Alba talked, and Potter's like, "Oh, I'm like Potter-chan or Potter-kun, right?" Because in Japanese you get the honorifics, and yeah, I guess I was sort of like that at first when I saw Alba, the Japanese girl, ooh, Japanese, so cool. But I don't want to overwhelm her, like, oh, I'm like a very typical Kai guy gene right now, But, Alba was like, yeah, Potter-kun, it makes sense. And I said, well, actually, Potter's older than me, so I wouldn't call him kun. And Alba's like, oh yeah, then you would call him son. See, I know Japanese more than the average person for some reason just by watching animes and VTubers. Next thing I want to talk about is today I Kuchio asked Carly who's the first AD, and Carly doesn't know. I said it's Leia. That's Birkin and Zach's plan. They're gonna give it to Leia. And Kuchio was like, yeah, let's give it to someone else. Leia already tried it. I know many other people also want to try. So Kuchio hates Leia. That's a very interesting development. Oh my god. A third thing is, how a while back I had a dream where I saw Alba and Carly at a train station and they went up to Film 33 on top of a mountain. I told Alba I had that dream yesterday or a couple days ago. Or was it yesterday? I think a couple days ago. When we were in the burrito restaurant. And then today I saw Carly. I told her that. It's so fucking cool that nowadays I can dream about girls and actually tell them in person. And it's just like, okay, like, it's not that out of the ordinary. But someone's DMing me on Instagram. Gorsh. Yeah, I'm watching YouTube videos on how to secure shooting locations right now. I'm freaking out. I got 7 days left to secure all 7 locations. There's so much paperwork. There's so much to do. It's so crazy. I'm gonna bring a laptop tomorrow morning. I'm definitely gonna drink some coffee at the Crafty if there's coffee. Goddamn. But yeah, there's that. And not much else. Oh yeah, I'm watching YouTube videos and I made an Instagram story. It's so funny, right? I made an Instagram story saying, oh hell nah, I'm literally watching YouTube videos right now. Like at the end of the day, this insane, professional, epic, ambitious short film all boils down to me watching YouTube videos like a loser, trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing. But it's a reasonable thing to do, Think of how I got into cameras and lenses. I got into them through YouTube. Like last year I had my crazy camera and lenses phase, and I went down a rabbit hole of mirrorless lenses for mirrorless cameras. Simply because of YouTube, because YouTube keeps on recommending me, oh, check out this new Sigma lens, check out this Tamron lens, or whatever. So I can just do the same thing. So I thought, might as well. So that's that. Leslie saw my story and replied to me saying, haha, I'm literally watching a YouTube video on how to make a vertical slider right now because tomorrow they need a freaking vertical slider for the shoot, for the shot. I don't even know what the fuck a vertical slider is. I know a slider is a burger. You know, I'm hungry. Actually, I'm not hungry now. But yeah, and Leslie liked 4 of my Instagram stories in a row, which is crazy. Damn, God, when I speak to her today, it's like, it's just pleasurable, you know? Like, even the most mundane things that come out of her mouth, like, oh, I'm going to eat ramen with my friends. Like, it's just like, oh, what does that mean? Like, how? Like, why? Like, ooh, like when Leslie talked about how Kiara stopped being friends with her, it just sheds a new light on her. Like, oh, is it because Leslie's just too insane? Like, Leslie's too crazy for Kiara's taste? Like, that adds a new layer to her. And every time I see her or speak to her or whatever, it adds a new layer, and she just becomes sort of like a layered person, and it's just like it's just fucking awesome. It's just so fucking awesome. So, goddamn. And unlike Pepper, I meet Pepper and Pepper's like, haha, yay, and then nothing else. But Leslie is challenging. She's a challenging person, and I respect that so much. Okay, I'm gonna continue working on locations and all that jazz. I texted Benny, so all 7 locations. Big house, small house, big house, backyard. That's Leslie. Big house, backyard. The bedroom, church. Leslie texted me. Church. Friggin' Montana Street Farmers Market. And fucking... Oh, God. My mind is broken. Rural Mexico. 7 of them. I'm handing Benny 2 of them. He's gonna do a church. And farmers market. He's already doing them. I'm gonna do the rest, okay? Trust me. Alright, time now is 7:33 a.m. in the morning on April 20th. Woohoo! Fuck, my hair looks terrible. Yeah, I slept from 2:40 to 7. My air vent is magically on by itself again. That's great. I love it when that happens. God damn it. I really can't wait to go to sleep tonight. I really cannot wait to go to bed tonight. Yeah, today's a Thursday and it's film 33 and the call time is like, it's 9, but the UPM that is Benny encouraged us to come at 8 if possible. So I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, I said to myself, yeah, sure, why not? So I'm coming at 8, or at least I will try my best to. So that's that. God damn, my hair, I look like I'm wearing a helmet. This is terrible. This is awful. I look like I'm wearing a fucking helmet. Oh my god, this is actually awful. But yeah, you know, tomorrow I won't be able to wake up naturally, unfortunately, because I have to go to Leslie's casting audition. So I'm gonna have to wake up a little bit early as well, just a tiny bit. But you know what? If it's for Leslie, I don't mind at all. I will wake up early just for her. But yeah, last night, my conversation with Leslie continues. You know, Leslie told me that she's drinking tequila, and she sent me a photo of the tequila she's drinking. And I told her, oh, I've never you know, I've never been drunk before. You know, I've drank red wine, white wine, beer, but you know, I realized maybe I haven't drunk enough, but I've never been drunk before. And then she sent me the photo of her tequila, and yeah, and then a little bit before that, I think I talked about it, but like I told her we share the same brain cell or whatever. And she asked me not to tell anyone that she's getting drunk last night, and this morning she's gonna be hungover. And then right after that, I told Michelle, and then I realized, fuck, I told someone. But yeah, from the future here on out, as much as I like to tell Michelle all my secrets because she's basically my therapist now, I do want to keep a bunch of deep dark secrets that Leslie has. Oh my god, my hair sucks. But yeah, I told Leslie, sure, I won't tell anyone. And Leslie said, and then I also added, oh, by the way, if you have finished your script, your scene, send it to me and I'll help you translate it, or we can meet up somewhere, maybe at CMD, maybe somewhere else, and we can talk about the script, you know? And then she hearted my comments, she hearted my texts, and she said, thank you, love ya. And it's like, okay. So she already said I love you. She already said love you. I don't know if she was drunk or not at that point, but she already said that last night. Like the freaking cherry on top. My Riz is just unstoppable, you know? I have such unstoppable Riz. God damn, imagine saying love you to this fucking idiot. Like, unbelievable. I look like an idiot so much. Holy crap. But yeah, anyways, I spoke with Cliff a little bit, and Cliff talked about how, a couple days ago, on Tuesday, he went to CMD to, like, test the cameras, and he decided to film, some footage with C-Log, which is Canon log, picture profile, and then apparently, I don't know how Cliff knows that, but on yesterday morning, when Wednesday Film 32 started filming, they saw that it's in C-Log, but none of them have seen C-Log before. Even someone like Leslie, and Cuchillo, and freaking Drew, didn't know it's in C-Log, and they start freaking out, and they thought the camera's broken, or the shutter is broken. And that's so funny. There's no freaking way. None of them know what C-Log is. Even I know what it is. I've never even heard C-Log. I know what's S-Log, but it sort of makes sense. You know, if it's Canon, it starts with a C, C-Log. S-Log is Sony log, you know. Like, it's just so funny. And Professor Antonio showed up and, like, called someone else and asked for help. Like, it's so funny. But yeah, there's that. And then I and Cliff talked about screenings, because on Saturday night there's a Taxi Driver screening. And then I found out that, holy crap, on Saturday night at the same freaking time, a little bit later, at midnight, there's the 2001 Space Odyssey screening at New Bev. I have to go to the 2001 one, because I've never seen that film, and it's on a big screen, and it's in film. And so Cliff was like, yeah, we need to go to 2001. And then I went online and I checked. It's already sold out. Of course, it's like a film this popular is gonna get sold out like right away. So that's that. So maybe we'll end up watching Taxi Driver, which is still just as great. And Cliff hasn't seen Taxi Driver. And then I went to Aero Theater website, and holy fuck, I found out that they're screening Kurosawa's Ran on April 29th. Holy shit, I've been waiting for this for like 3 years. Ever since I've known Kurosawa, I've been like, oh my god, Ran is this huge movie and I need to see it in the theaters. So yeah, I'm gonna tell Cliff, I told Cliff already, I'm gonna tell Leslie if I see her today. She says she's not gonna show up today morning because she doesn't want to. She's gonna ditch her editing class. So I hope I do see her today. But yeah, I'm gonna tell Leslie, I'm gonna tell freaking Ken, I'm gonna tell like everyone, hopefully, and like we're just going to freaking Ran together. which is insane. Like last night, I was like at 2 a.m. I was just like, oh my God, they're playing Ron, and it's just like awesome. But that also means that on April 29th, I wouldn't be able to help HKOS with their freaking screening, with their freaking So I really don't know. Maybe I'll go on the 30th. I really don't know. But yeah, that's that. That is that. I'm gonna talk to Pepper about this too. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be late. I won't arrive at 8 a.m. It's fine. Who cares? I'm the location manager. What can they do?
If you remember, but you let me know that there's kind of like two things I have to submit. I have to submit the full script for review and proof of insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, awesome, amazing. Yeah, so we've been talking to a few churches, and there's a few parishes that have agreed to work with us.
I might stay here a while. I don't know. But also keep it up.
Keep it up later.
Where were you gonna see Liam?
Ooh.
I was saying, couldn't we even go I mean, maybe I shouldn't say. Could we go before class? Like, let's say.
This is the best curry I've ever made. The best Japanese curry I've ever made. The sauce actually thick and creamy. Pork cubes, nice and burnt. Potatoes and the onions cooked soft. Real good. Wow, I look so terrible. Alright, so time now is 10:21 p.m. Just finished dinner, which is Japanese curry rice. I'm so fucking full. It's actually insane. So yeah, let's talk about today. Another day with so much density, so much to talk about, so much information to develop. At this point, something new happens every day, something interesting happens every day, and I'm eternally grateful for that. Oh my God, like why is my hair so fucking awful? It's like I'm wearing a helmet. Like if it's slightly long, it's great, but then now it's gotten too long. Like it's actually like getting awkward now. Yeah, essentially, there's that. So let's talk about, Film 33 today. Surprisingly, even though today I acted really tired and sleepy, I'm actually not that tired and sleepy. I was actually pretty excited today because given that I'm a location manager now and I don't have much of a role on set, Actually, I felt kind of relaxed. Of course, I'm also stressed because I'm the one responsible for scouting all the locations and whatever. And the short films depends on me so much right now. But at the same time, because I don't need to be on set and I can just roam around and whatever, there's a certain relaxing quality about it, and that's great. So I arrived like half an hour late, or like the call time is 9 a.m. but it's recommended that we should start showing up at 8. I arrived at 8:30, and most of the people are there already. Benny was later than me, hilarious enough. And then yeah, I saw everyone. I saw people. Leia got stripped of first AD, and she's extremely pissed. She showed up very late, and she's a grip now. She never expressed interest in being a grip. It's so funny. But yeah, I watched them set up a few things. I spoke with Birkin, spoke with Zach, spoke with Thomas. I spoke with Red and Carly a little bit about the locations. And yada yada, boom, 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 boom. Leslie's not gonna show up. Like last night, she told me like, "Oh, I'm gonna drink," and I'm like, "But you need to show up tomorrow. Why are you drinking?" And she's like, "You know what? I'm gonna ditch my class. I don't care. I'm not even gonna show up." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I was expecting not to see Leslie today, so I looked awful today. Like with my helmet hair and my silly acne and whatever, I look terrible, and I was expecting, well, Leslie won't show up, so it's okay if I look terrible. And she did fucking show up, and god damn it. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, so essentially there's that. Huh. Welp. So, yeah, so a good chunk of the day, again, about 80% of the day is just me. I brought my laptop to CMD today, which is standing up right now, because I just cleaned it with some alcohol wipes. But yeah, I brought my laptop there, so me, Thomas, Liam, at some point Tova, at some point Benny, just went upstairs. I think at some point Bree even showed up. We went upstairs to the editing room right beside 271, and we just sat there, and Liam did his own thing. He edited some TikTok videos for or some Instagram reels, fun little lighthearted Instagram reel for the promotion of the short film with DaVinci, and I continue with my insane location scouting thing. I continue to message people on Gigster, and for the most part I was pretty distracted because we also joked around. Like me and Thomas and Liam, we just sat in the room and we just started joking around, and like, because I'm such a trickster, I'm such a troll, like, I'm also rubbing off on Thomas in that, like, Thomas is also acting a little whimsical today, simply because of me. But yeah, you know, I kept on, like, organizing my spreadsheet, looking at locations, essentially trying to keep things organized. Benny tried to call the archdiocese, nobody picked up. Benny tried to call a church, nobody picked up. No, somebody picked up in the archdiocese, but, you know, so I gave Benny, like, the church and farmers market, and I had the other 5 locations to handle. And then there's some tiny planning where, you know, locations and on what day and whatnot, and that's that. At 11, so I constantly went up and down the stairs. I think I did that like at least 10 times a day. I went back to set. That's Alba. I went back to the set. I went up. I went back down. I went back up. Constantly, not non-stop. Ariel, the girl who wanted to be PA, she showed up. That's great. And yeah, and that's that. They set up stuff at the soundstage. I didn't witness most of it. I'm sure it's going well. I'm not really that interested. It's boring for me because I've seen them set up so many times. It's just not interesting for me anymore. But yeah, essentially, there's that. While being upstairs and like working on locations, another reason why I'm super distracted is because I'm also texting Leslie, and goddamn do I want to talk about that so much. I just, you know, like, oh my god, my hair's so awful. Like, today is just a benchmark in the relationship, in the history of the relationship between me and Leslie. Like, I and her, we grow so much closer today. It's actually awesome. It's like that day in like mid-September when I and Pepper sit really close to each other in Film 32, and I thought to myself on that night, like, wow, like I and Pepper are so close, like something's going on, maybe. And today I feel the same thing for Leslie, and instead of feeling like, ooh, that's interesting, I feel so... Michelle's texting me. Leslie's so... like there's something so warm about this. Like, I feel so warm and cozy, and it's just... I'm just like, you know that stupid meme of like a guy texting, and he's like his feet, his toes wiggling, you know, and like laying on the bed like a teenage girl. Like, that's how I feel. I just constantly check my phone and see another text come from her, and I always get a little burst of joy whenever I see a notification, and it's Leslie. Like, I'm saying all this and my hair looks like a fucking helmet, I swear to God. Like, I just get a little burst of joy every time I turn on my phone and I see her, and it's just like, oh my god. Like, I just I just can't. This is fucking amazing. This is fucking amazing. And I'm learning to love this. Like, I'm learning to enjoy this instead of like, oh my god, like, I can't tell her the truth about my feelings for her and will forever like stay silent and forever stay friends, which is painful and it hurts. I'm just learning, like, even if we stay friends, that's okay, because what's happening now is already great enough. Like, I could just settle for this. But yeah. Anyways, before I continue to talk about Leslie, 11 a.m. lunchtime, and once again I didn't go out. I went to the Crafty, got a bagel, some cream cheese, ate it, pretty nice, and then I got one of these shawarma. Tova gave me a brownie with her own hands. He ripped some of the brownie off, and she gave me some brownie, and like, oh, okay, thanks, and I ate it. And again, it's just like crazy how much I'm assimilating into American culture. Like a random girl uses her hands to rip off some brownie and give it to me, and I eat it. And I know that's so simple, but then if I tell my 15-year-old self that this would happen, it's just like insanity, bruh. First of all, I don't eat food with hands. I love brownies, but it's like at school, at the cafeteria, a black girl, and race doesn't matter in this equation, but like just the level of density in this situation is just like, Thomas texting me. I'm so fucking popular. But yeah, essentially there's that. Jonathan, Tyler, everyone else just went out and came back. They had lunch outside. I wish I would have gone with them. Very quickly, Michelle has arrived. I pretty much convinced her to come here to CMD to witness the chaos, and she's also curious because I dressed all black, and she really wants to know how I look. And I did dedicate myself. I did commit to this all black look. Yeah, and then she saw me, and she's actually really impressed. That I dressed all black just because of her. And Tova took a picture of us, so that's that. And then I and Michelle, we had a little talk. Michelle continued to complain about Betsy being obsessive about Film 33, and also Zach, one of the producers, came to her acting class in the main campus. And Zach doesn't know who Michelle is, but Michelle, of course, she knows because I tell her everything. So there's that. Tyler. So Michelle's, I wouldn't say it's a crush, but Michelle thinks he's hot, which is true. If I'm gay, I would find him hot. Ever since Tyler had followed me on Instagram, he's been acting a little like edgier in front of me. Like he treats me like I'm also an ultra emo goth like him. So he would like say random shit in front of me. At the very end of the day, I was pulled into the soundstage to be a stand-in for some extras for a church scene. I'm sitting in the pews, like a congregation, whatever, fucking believers, Catholics. So I sat there, and Tyler's behind me and then to my right, and then he whispered to me, "My neck, my back. Come on, you know the lyrics. Come on, don't pretend you don't know it." And I really don't know it. Is it like a Black Eyed Peas song? I really don't know. And he said, "Like my pussy and my crack." And I just look at him and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Well, I truly don't know the lyrics. And he's like, "Nah, I know you know the lyrics." Like, bro. So yeah, there's that. And in the same scene, Theo acted as Jesus Christ. Because we need a stand-in for the statue of Jesus, for that church shot. Earlier the day I not confronted. I like to use the word confront, but really I spoke to Theo about getting the CSUN, and he said, "Oh, I got into the CSUN, yeah." And I said, "To the school or to the film option?" And he's like, "Well, if you're into the school, then you're in the film option." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I didn't ask further, but that's not how it works. At some point, Cliff showed up, of course. Cliff showed up upstairs with a tall Dutch man with long curly hair, as well as WoW director Amy. And he introduced me to the Dutch man, Lewis, and I was like, "Hi, oh, so it's you." And Lewis was kind of confused, like, "Okay." And Cliff didn't elaborate, and he's just like, "Who is this random Asian guy?" And I said, "Oh, I'm the JoJo fan and JPEG Mafia fan," because we spoke on Discord a little bit. And he's like, "Oh, wow, you got great taste." And I'm like, "Yeah, thank you." And then he said, "So have you read the latest chapter of JoJo?" And I'm like, I'm not caught up with the manga, actually. Like, I'm still reading Steel Ball Run. And he's like, "Okay, it's the best part." So that's that. And then, yeah, a little bit later, Betsy showed up again, because Betsy came here to CMD with Michelle. Betsy showed up, and there's a little tension between me and her now. Obviously, she doesn't know that, but Betsy's trying to hide something from me, and that is he's going to be an associate producer for the short film, because he's bringing in money. But for some reason, Betsy kept telling Michelle to not tell me, which is really weird, me specifically. But yeah, I saw Betsy and I acted normal and she acted normal, and it's not a huge deal. Like, she's getting paranoid and I understand why, This CMD place, it really installs paranoia in you. But yeah, she essentially just, you know what, one moment, I'm gonna, put some moisturizing cream on my face. A little later, I spoke with Betsy, and I was being honest. I told her, I'm in an emotional roller coaster right now, because, I randomly, I forgot who I was speaking to. I think I was speaking to Tova, and then Jaden and Trinity was there. I really don't fucking care. I opened my phone, and I saw a notification, and no, it's not Leslie, unfortunately not. It's an email telling me that my application status has been updated for LMU. Holy fucking ball sacks. I was like, and I started running up and down the stairs, and Bree was standing up somewhere near the bathroom, and she just looked at me and go, "What's going on?" And I just ran up and down like a rabid dog. And they were like, what? And I said, "LMU has just released." And then Tova was like, "Open it." And I'm like, I can't. Sid Lolly was there. Sid Lolly said, "Open it." And I said, "Bro, I can't. And yeah, it's crazy. So Betsy showed up later, and I told her that I'm going through an emotional roller coaster today. With Film 33 is stressful, blah, blah, blah. And of course, a lot of other feelings clash and cram together. And Betsy was like, "Oh, do you want me to give you a hug?" And before I said yes, she was already in this fucking position. And I'm like, "Okay." So I hugged her, and she gave me the strongest gripping hug of all times. And she said, Tell me to let go if you want to let go." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, you can let go." And then she let go. And yeah, that's that. Saw Patrick. Saw the bald professor a couple times. Saw Crystal, the Chinese mom, once, and said hi. I just know so many people, even people outside of the class. I just keep running into them for some freaking reason. It's so epic. But yeah, essentially, there's that. Let me think. You know what? I'll speak to Alba one more. Okay, anyways, insanity ensues. Yeah, but most of the day today I was just sleepy, dying inside, really tired. There's so many locations in Film 33, and it's funny though, because while I'm stressed, this is also low-key fun at the same time, and people are being really supportive. So if those two things are the opposite, then I would probably legit have a full-on nervous breakdown. I'm so close. It's so easy for me to get a nervous breakdown, yet for some reason I don't think I ever will get a nervous breakdown. I think I got this, actually, for some reason. It's actually a tiny bit infuriating that I'm so mentally healthy right now. It's not even funny, right? But yeah. made a phone call. I was like near death. I was like, blah, 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 blah. I was delirious. And then I spoke with Red a little bit. I ran after. I held my laptop up high on my shoulder like I'm carrying a baby, and I ran around the fucking campus, like the building. And I hate doing that. Like I hate bringing my own laptop out to like the open. But I just did that today. But anyways, I got a phone number from. I spoke with Miles, and then Miles started talking about how he went to the hospital today or the doctor's office many times, and he had gastroscope, so somebody inserted a tube up his ass and like inserted a tube through his wrists or something. It's crazy. And yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to handle this fucking filming location situation first and foremost. So I found a phone number by like official filming citywide, LA, whatever. I called. I went to the editing room and I called, and Benny was there, and I was like near death. And then the moment the call happened, and I'm like, bruh, yo, what up? It's Enoch. I'm calling the CEO of Los Angeles. And then somebody actually picked up the call, and I immediately entered my phone call mode, and I was like, oh, hi, I'm Enoch Lai. I'm representing this blah, 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 college as the location manager of blah, 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 film program, blah, blah. And I started to like speak very smoothly and professionally, and actually like making some progress. And this is like the biggest moment in my history of being a location manager, and that is I suddenly received so much information, phone numbers, emails, procedures, like what was originally a hazy, cloudy, blurry process of trial and error, finding locations. I don't even know what the hell am I doing. To, oh, so these are the steps. Oh, now I can see how I can take it on from here on out. So, which is really cool. I'm learning so much, actually. Yeah, so that's that for most of the day. So that's that. Jonathan took a picture of me and posted it on Instagram, like literally my portrait without my permission, which is insane, but okay, thank you, but next time please ask me. But hey, at least people like who used to know me, people from Hong Kong world, you know, Natalie and Leia and Cedric, Mary, they will see these stories that I'm making and be like, God damn, Enoch is making numbers right now. He's changed. He's making numbers. He's popular now. He's got friends now. He's living the good life now. Holy shit. He's not the suffering idiot that we used to know him for. Holy crap, the guy's changed. And they will think I'm fucking cool. And they will be like, oh my god, the guy's different. So that's that. You know, so in a way it's a good thing. Yeah, but anyways, of course I'm stressed out about LMU. Thomas kept on bickering me about check your LMU, open your email, check your LMU, check your LMU, check LMU. I never did. But at some point, Thomas told me a secret. That apparently earlier, after the second round of submission, Crucio actually liked his script and privately emailed him, asking him if he can work with Elsie, the other writer, to polish the script. And Thomas said no, because he doesn't want people interfering his scripts, which is reasonable. Because if I were Thomas, I wouldn't like someone else messing with my script. And Thomas told me that he's worried that he pissed off Crucio, and Crucio may give him a B. And I was trying my very best to convince him to tell me the secret. He almost did not, because he said I have a big mouth, and I would tell Michelle that, and I promised him I will not. Which is true, I didn't tell Michelle that. Michelle has no idea. I was, and he's like, oh, should I be worried that Crucio will not give me an A? And I actually started to convince him, oh, I don't know, doesn't he give everyone A's? And then he showed me a grade distribution table, and he's like, oh, interesting. Oh, well, actually, right, like, if you can't get on Crucio's good side, he may give you a B. Oh, and then now Thomas wants to tell me a secret and explain the situation to me. Very interesting. And then Benny overheard it, and now Thomas has to tell Benny. That's very funny. Yeah, Michelle came into the room, and I was like laying on the chair, like dead, like a corpse. And I started like speaking in poetry, and Michelle like, wow, you look like a dead man. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So that's that. But the highlight of the day really is Leslie, of course. Just every single day as the days go by, the more I really like her. Like, she's just amazing. She's just freaking awesome. So I texted her a lot this morning. You know what? Let me pull up the Instagram, because we chatted a little bit on Instagram. But what I want to say is, like, I've never been this close to Leslie. I think I've been this close with the girl before, obviously, but I've never been this close with Leslie. I think she continued telling me, oh, I have a headache now because I'm, hungover. Because I'm hungover and stuff. Oh yeah, at 10 a.m. she texted me first. She said, as my wish, I am hangover and I'm drinking electric light water. I don't even know what that means. I said, good job. And then she said she may come in afternoon. I'm like, oh, okay. And then she said, I don't know, I want to watch a movie tonight. And then I told her, oh, they're playing Taxi Driver on Saturday night. They're playing Ron, which is insane. And I said, I've been waiting this for so many years. Blah, 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 blah. And she's like, oh, I'm interested in watching Ron with you. Yeah, and then we started like being a little edgy. And I told her, oh, I've been feeling mentally healthy lately, so I definitely need to watch a movie to bring some negativity back to my life. And she said negativity always visits me. And she said she's more like a bipolar kind of person. And I'm like, okay. And then she said she's thinking whether she should watch it or not because she has a production meeting on Sunday, 10 a.m. And I said, I'm probably going to wake up at 8 a.m. on Sunday. Yeah, she has a headache because she's hungover. And I told her to eat some cheese, eggs, and bacon and drink a lot of water. I'm giving her advice, like a fucking dad, And then she's continued to lament about the fact that Kiara broke her friendship with her. And she said she easily fucked up all her friendship, and it's one of her best talents. And I told her, if I was 15 years old now, I would really relate to you. And I told her she reminds me of myself in secondary school. And she got a little intrigued. Ooh, secondary school. She said, sure, not much difference. Like, what does that mean? And then I just told her, again, I'm being a little edgy and quirky, whenever I remember my secondary school life, it all feels like a fever dream. My personality changed 3 times because of secondary school. She didn't respond to that. She randomly texted me in Chinese, and she said, why did I drink alcohol and I'm still sad? And then she sent me all these screenshots of Kiara texting her. Yeah, she sent me like 10 screenshots and I skimmed through them. And I was like, holy shit. Kiara, so apparently it's not, it's a tiny mishap. So Kiara wants to use the soundstage to do some camera tests. And Leslie, given that she's the fucking spirit guardian now, like Kiara's like, oh, so Leslie, when is it open? When is it free for me to use? And Leslie gave some information and Leslie was wrong. There have been changes and Kiara's like, what the fuck? And Leslie's like, sorry, I'm wrong. It's my fault. And Kiara's like, okay, what's the problem? You told me this and you told me that, but then I'm going through a divorce. I'm taking 19 units in this college and, I have a scene or whatever and you're making it worse. And then Kiara wrote a humongous paragraph saying, why are you treating me like a punching bag? I will never speak to you again because you're not treating me with the right respect. don't be friends ever with me again. Ciao, all caps, with a butterfly emoji, and freaking blocks Leslie. Leslie continues to type. They're all like not even read. And I just find it kind of funny. Like ciao with a butterfly emoji. It's like a Netflix comedy scene. And I did even it out, you know. I said, you know, she's probably not used to your attitude and she's going through a lot of stress. She's going through a divorce. That's pretty stressful. But yeah, I think she's overacting too much. And yeah, she laughed at me describing it like a Netflix comedy scene. And she actually screenshotted it and posted it on her Instagram. And I saw her screenshots and it's in WhatsApp. And she's like, Leslie said, oh yeah, I made WhatsApp. I downloaded WhatsApp just for her. And now that I'm not friends with her, well, I got no one. And I told her, oh, I use WhatsApp usually. But Instagram DMs are fine, but just not as convenient. And Leslie immediately shared a QR code for me to add her on WhatsApp. So I said WhatsApp's a little more convenient for me, and she immediately did this for me. What? And I was like, I don't know how to scan QR codes with the screenshot. So I had to Google how to do that, and I finally found out how to do that. So I scanned the Instagram, and now I have her on WhatsApp. And that's crazy that she's telling me her personal drama now. She screenshotted a bit of our conversation and put it on Instagram. I feel honored. She also took a selfie of herself and actually posted it on her Instagram, and it's not like close friends. And it's not bad. And I don't know, there's a certain intimacy between us. There is a certain like trust that's just so much more personal. Like I am now more personal to Leslie than Kiara is. Like I'm like in her inner circle now. So that feels so good. And then she shows up with this lavender purple shirt that has like this white lining. And the first thing is that her hair color is literally the same as Brie. Brie is half black, half magenta. And then Leslie looks literally the same, except with a little blue, like a little violet, you know. And they started talking about that. And then we said hi. And I was like an idiot. I was carrying my laptop around like a baby on my shoulder. But yeah, I spoke with Leslie a little bit. I sat with Leslie at the bench outside the soundstage, and I showed off my insane Google spreadsheet where I make a schedule out of every single day of my life. And she didn't react to it strongly. She's just like, okay. And I said, that's not very healthy of me. Like, I want to show off like how insane I am, right? And she's like, wow, okay. No, it's healthy. Because she's a mess. And then she actually showed me. She has a freaking notebook. She writes diaries too, which is so fucking cute. I write diaries too. I used to write them. I don't anymore. And she said last night, while she was drinking tequila, she drank one shot and she would write down her thoughts and feelings. And she wrote the second shot and she would write another paragraph. And she like blacked out and passed out and she wrote like third shot, fourth shot, all the way up to 9. And her handwriting is garbage. It's like typhoon. It looks terrible. It's so cursive and it's so chaotic. And my God, like even up close, seeing her personal life, it's just like, damn. And yeah, and then like I even showed her like my calorie list. I'm surprised she didn't think I'm a fucking psycho for doing this. But she's probably in her head, she probably did think like, ooh, okay, this guy's interesting. She does all these lists. But I also low-key like that she didn't have a dramatic reaction. When I showed it to Pepper, Pepper's like... Leslie didn't have a dramatic reaction, but she probably had an idea like, oh, this guy's like obsessive. You know, I want her to think that. You know, I want her to think that I'm fucking messed up. But yeah, it's just so good. and we laughed and stuff. And I asked her if her shirt is inside out, and then she flipped her shirt and she's like, no, it's not. And that's that. There's that intimacy with us. And then she walked to the soundstage to take a look, and I also walked with her as well. That's that. And that's it. And I walked away. It's also good to not like stick to her completely. Otherwise, that's very obvious what I'm trying to do. But yeah. The class finally wrapped. Theo played Jesus Christ. And then we left and whatever, you know. And I had nothing to do. It was like 4 something p.m., like about 5 actually, and I have like a whole hour to kill, whole hour and a half before I have to attend script writing club meeting as the VP, because Thomas is dipping. Thomas had to deal with midterms and he's going away. I saw Michelle a little bit, but Michelle's gone. I spoke with Gustavo and Theo for a good like half an hour, and it's a little awkward because Theo is just like a fucking snake, you know. But Gustavo's a nice guy. And they both complained, especially Gustavo complained about Enzo, the other Brazilian guy, and how toxic he was from WoW. That's the dude who yelled at Leslie. Ooh, you're the second AC, you should listen to the first AC. That fucking guy. He also told me he's from Chile. No, he's from Brazil. But yeah, essentially there's that. And yeah, and then at some point I saw Leslie. Before I had the conversation with Theo and Gustavo, I saw Leslie. And Leslie speaking to Crystal, the Chinese mom. And I wanted to just randomly walk in. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it. So I randomly walked in. And they were speaking in Mandarin, but I couldn't hear them. I understand them. But then they see me and they speak to me in English, which is like kind of weird, but okay. It makes sense. And then Leslie walked away, and that's the last I saw her today. But Leslie essentially explained the same things she explained to me, like how she drank tequila and like 1 shot, 2 shot. Though she explains this type of shit to many people, so just because she explains this to me doesn't mean I'm in her inner circle. But yeah, I saw Crystal and I told her, oh, you know, I saw her Instagram story and you had hot pot, right? Wow, where did you find this place? And she's like, no, it's in my home. And I'm like, what, really? I miss hot pot so much. And she's like, oh yeah, you know, we went to Mitsuwa market and we bought a bunch of Japanese stuff, but yeah, hot pot. And I told her how much I miss hot pot, and she said next week maybe she's gonna do another hot pot dinner. She's gonna invite her romantic partner, aka boyfriend, a white guy, and she's gonna invite Leslie, and she can invite me too. In fact, that her place is nearby CMD, so I can just go. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, that's great. So I probably won't go until a while later, but the fact that she invited me, it's just like, fuck yes. And I told Michelle this, and Michelle's like, wow, you got approval from the mom, you know. And you know, like Crystal and her romantic partner, and then there's me and Leslie, like, damn. So yeah, it's so great. I wish Leslie doesn't like tie her ponytail. I mean, it makes sense. She's like a grip girl, but like if she unties her hair, it just looks way better. So, but I look like shit today, really. And then script writing club meeting happens. Before that, I ran into Connor the Machinese. Apparently today is his first Film 31 class. So instead of Film 31 being a whole semester long, now it's split into half semester and half semester. So today we have Connor and his first Film 31. And in the same class we have Mishila, the quiet Indonesian, and Idris, the half French, half Chinese, who secretly handed out posters for the secret organization that is Night Owl. I spoke with Connor a couple times, and it's pretty interesting. And he's also apparently in Film 20, and he's using ChatGPT to do his own work, so that's that. But he got a 90, so he's a better screenwriter than me, probably. But yeah, there's that. Script writing club meeting happens. It's kind of awkward, but honestly, I could get by with that. because I was, I did well, I did, talk and stuff. Carmelo showed up. Daniel, the big Australian guy, showed up. I think 4 more people showed up. The black guy who always shows up, Japanese American guy, a white girl, and Leslie's texting me. Fuck me. And another guy. Oh yeah, the middle-aged Chinese American guy. Yeah, so I just said, the Japanese American guy, he offered his own script, sent it to all of us through email, and we read it, and we gave some feedback. I said some stuff. It's all good, all chill, and then I left. Came back home. That's it. I'm gonna open my LMU now, but Leslie's texting me. God, she's amazing, and I'm seeing her again tomorrow. Again, so like insanity ensues. Am I right? Insanity fucking ensues. I'm so happy today. I'm so happy. Why do I deserve this happiness? It's so stupid. Also, we randomly did the political test, the political compass quiz while in the editing room, me, Thomas, and Liam. I got liberal socialism. Socialist, internationalist, libertarian, very progressive, and Liam also got very similar results. Liam's a libertarian communist, which I don't like communists, but liberal socialist, I can live with that. Thomas is like the polar opposite of me on every axis. He's considered a neoconservative, which is so funny. Good day to be a liberal, And then Benny and Tova saw my quiz results, and both of them high-fived me. No, Benny didn't high-five me, but Benny was like, yo, that's cool. And then Tova high-fived me, like,